Okay, we will solve the following exercise. And notice that I've activated the squares of the paper because we are going to start managing information of vectors. So that is actually pretty important for us to manage a square for us to be sure that the line is straight. Okay, we're going to solve the exercise number 2.1. In active example 2.1, suppose that the vectors u and v are reoriented as shown. The vector b is vertical and the magnitudes are magnitude of u equals 8 and b equals 3. Graphically determine the magnitude of the vector u plus 2b. Okay, so it is important for us to have something and some information like very clear. Why is that? Because this is pretty easy, and because it's that easy, maybe we got confused along the solution of the exercise. So the first thing that we have to know is that we have for example a scalar that I'm going to call a, and a scalar is just a number. Okay, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 11, minus 100, square root of 5, whatever. Okay, scalar is the number. And we have a vector that in this case I'm going to call u. The first and the principal two characteristics of that vector is that it has a direction and a magnitude. How do I know the direction? By using an arrow. This is a vector, this is a vector, this is a vector, whatever, this is a vector, this is a vector. What's the magnitude of that vector? Well, this is the magnitude of this vector, this is the magnitude of this vector, this is the magnitude of this one, of this one, of this one, of this one. Okay, and the direction is where the arrow points at. Okay, so now that we know this and realize that this is pretty easy, they are telling me that there is going to be generated another vector coming from two vectors. Okay, so here I have the vector b. Copy, paste. Okay, this is the vector b. They are telling me that this vector is vertical. And here I have the vector u. Copy and paste. I don't know if this is going to work, so bear with me. Well, kind of. Let me put these two together. Okay, the way for us to solve this exercise is pretty easy, and I wanna make this mistake because for those of you who knows what I'm doing, I did a mistake here, but it is on purpose. For us to solve this exercise graphically, as the exercise is asking us, I have to put the head of the arrow and I'm going to call this part the tail. So here I have two tails and two heads. The head of the first vector has to be connected to the tail of the second vector. Okay, there's no way that this could happen. Tail with tail is not correct. Head with head is not correct. Okay, even if I'm subtracting vectors, because maybe we'll look at that later. So as I just said, this is not correct. So the correct way would be the vector b and this vector must be, and I'm going to put it in red here. Why is that? Because the head of the vector b is touching the tail of the vector u. Okay, now what is the magnitude of the vector b? They are telling me these two signs, these two symbols mean magnitude. What does it mean? That I don't care about the direction. I don't care if that's a negative number. I don't care if that's a positive number. I just care about the value of the number. Okay, so the magnitude of the vector b, they tell me that is equal to 3. And the magnitude of the vector u, they tell me that is equal to 8. Alright, but they are telling me that the operation of vectors that I have to do is going to be u plus 2b. Right, so u plus 2b. Because of this is an scalar, I can just multiply these two with the magnitude of b. So the magnitude of b is not going to be 3, well actually it is 3, but this part is going to be equal to 2 times the magnitude of b, which is 3, okay? So that is equal to 6. So in this case, this vector is not b, is 2b, and that is equal to 6. And this vector is u, which is equal to 8. Now the solution, I'm going to write it down on with green, will be the connection of tail with tail and head with head. Okay, in this case I have to do it this way: tail with tail, head with head. Now I'm going to call that the vector, I don't know, x. So the vector x is equal to this. Now we're going to use CATIA V5 to solve this and to measure this length, which is the magnitude of the vector x. Right? So maybe I'll prepare some tutorials of CATIA V5, but by now I just gotta click here, part 1, okay, sketch, do a sketch to whichever plane, and then I'm going to create a line here that is going to have a measure of a length of 6. Then I'm going to create a line here that is and that has an angle of 45 degrees because of this, and has length of 8, so 8, and the result is this line, the connection between them. Okay, now I just gotta measure this reference, and the answer is that the resultant vector is equal to 5 point, okay, the magnitude of this vector is equal to 5.667, which is approximately 5.7. Okay, and that's, guys, how this exercise could be solved.